Eugenia, what is that? This looks delicious. Nom 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 nom. Can't hear you.
What's up, everybody?
Good morning, buddy.
With
Good
the
morning.
donut.
Hello, Christian.
I
Donut.
don't have my camera set back up just yet, but at some point throughout this meeting, I should be fully engaged.
No problemo. All right, I am loading up my screen with the agenda, which is mostly going to be our go-no-go. How's everyone's weekend?
Was good.
Good,
Did a outdoor, distant, very COVID-friendly Friendsgiving, which was really nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Was that in OC, outdoor?
Yeah, Irvine. We have a community park area in the community. I had started this Friendsgiving tradition a few years ago at my house. So we weren't able to do it obviously this year. So we decided we're just gonna do it like very social distant, but still get together and do some sort of Friendsgiving, which turned out to be really nice.
Fantastic. Very happy to hear that.
How was the Sunday fun day with the team of SoCal peeps?
It was canceled due to COVID.
I thought you guys all got tested and you were meeting.
No, actually, my test got canceled because I went there as a drive-through and the system went down, so I could not get tested or rescheduled. So it was pretty gnarly. Such is life. And we are hitting in the U.S. It's like 100K cases per day now, which is fast.
160,000.
Yeah, 160,000 today.
Yeah.
Oh my. Yeah, epidemiologists are basically saying that we're in the exponential realm now, so it's essentially impossible to stop, which is so depressing. But anyway, let's not start off the meeting with that. Sorry, we've already started off the meeting with depressing news. But thanks everybody for coming together. We are in a very important week, as you can imagine. But we are going to stick with our standard agenda first. So I do not believe we brought anybody brand new except for Parisa. So Parisa, what we do here is put people on the spot when they've joined and have you introduce yourself, say hi. So welcome, Parisa. Would you like to say any?
Thank you, guys.
You're on stage, Parisa.
Oh, wait, sorry, I didn't hear you well. What did you say?
Oh, this is your moment to shine and introduce yourself and say hi to the team as we welcome you.
Nice. Hey, guys. It's a pleasure meeting all of you. I've met some of you before last week, so I'm really excited to be helping Leyline. I've worked with Labby and Sajal in the past, many moons ago, and I work in, my specialty is paid search and social, but I've worked in digital media for the past 8 years, over 8 years. So I'm excited to help in any way I can. And that's my little spiel.
Thank you, Parisa. Sorry for putting you on the spot. But Parisa is going to help make sure that we are found by people, which is very important when you're trying to be found. You need people to search for you. Okay, and we do have a number of folks that have been popping into our communication stack. So you'll see a number of few names like Min Lu and Anthony Su. They are going to be helping out on the engineering, data science, business intelligence front. And I believe later this week, we'll have another user research specialist potentially helping us out. All right, so let's jump right into gratitudes, accomplishments, and shout outs. And does anybody want to start today? Otherwise, I could begin.
I could have a brief chat. I'd like to
All
see
right, Daniel, thank you.
Yeah, of course. No, I think this big one goes to Paco, who has, for lack of better words, been working his ass off over this weekend, and I've been seeing him essentially making changes, fixing, making sure that all the feedback is being implemented and really driving this whole thing forward. I mean, at the end of the day, Leyline wouldn't be anything if we didn't have anything to show for it. And Paco is sort of the driving force behind making sure that all of our voices are heard, and that Leyline and the product that Leyline is really represented to its best degree possible.
Thanks so much, man. Really humbling. I would like to give a shout out to everyone. Thanks to, because really I have many interactions along the day, and it's great to see the commitment of everyone, the quick reaction and the will to move forward. And a special shout out that as we have today Christian with us, to the Altoros team, as they have also been working a lot, even if today in a go no go meeting that we're going to have right now, we might be focusing on some of the things we are missing on, might not be polished. It's almost invisible, the huge amount of work behind it and the commitment they have, that it's really far from what you normally would expect from in theory, a contractor. So really, my shout out will go to the Taurus team.
So Christian Malfesi.
Thank you.
Yeah. You, my friend.
Thank you. Well, I'm happy with the work of the team, but we need to improve a lot. I think we are learning together and knowing each other together. But thank you for your effort, and always be happy to answer, because I think here the culture that we are building is great, and I like it, and I think that the developers are very happy also with the way that we are communicating and working together. So yeah, I appreciate everything here from you.
So Christian, since you've gone, you get to choose who goes next.
Well, I think is let me check. Justin.
What? Oh, good morning. Yes, I would like to give big props to Mr. Brian with getting the GoFundMe stuff rocking and rolling. Dude's a wizard, and he's always pleasant to chat with, and I know he's not really a robot, even though I call him a robot, and I love him dearly.
Thanks, Justin. Yeah, definitely want to echo the thoughts for Paco, because Paco's been killing it. Yeah, he's got a lot of work on his shoulders and a lot of pressure, but he's definitely doing it all with a smile. So thank you so much, Paco. I also want to give a shout out to both Cody and Antoine for helping out with the just amazing design ideas and contributions, and really leveling up the campaign. So really enjoy working with both of those guys. So thank you both. All right, either of them on? Yeah, Cody's on.
Cody. Cody, you there, my friend?
Cody has lost his voice.
Oh no! Wait, for real?
Yeah, he just messaged us pretty sick.
Oh no! All right. Well, hi everybody. My name's Cody, and so what is?
You gotta have
Cody
more of
gonna
the
do
TV.
here?
Hey,
Right.
Cody.
Okay, so well, you know what? I'll give a shout out, and I want to give a shout out to Daniel. Man, what a story! Daniel is one of the youngest people in our crew, but is probably one of the most prominent leaders in the community team. And, you know, I've been able to observe when he first started up till now, and his growth is like a rocket ship. So as a organizer, project manager, editor, trainer, orienting, updating documentation, working our Discord community, he is all over the place, and he has his whole life ahead of him. I'm so old already. How am I going to keep up with this guy?
Andy's writing a book.
Yeah.
Don't go this way.
And have you seen him play the piano? Good Lord. With a brain on this guy. But yeah, he also does all of this with humility and kindness and empathy, and that to me is the most important. So anyway, Daniel, lots of love, man. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you,
So
Jeremy.
you get to pick the next potato.
That warms my heart. I'd just reply that obviously whatever I do is a product of everyone else. I merely, I think, reflect the values instilled onto me by other people, and so you guys have really been great at this. And in which case, Brian, I'm so sorry. I'm going to throw this one back to you because Brian has been a fantastic mentor over and over again. We've had many meetings where we've sat down and looked over what's been working well and what hasn't been, and he has been nothing but kind, patient, and honest with me. And I think all of that makes me better able to do what I do. And so, a big shout out to Brian. I'm so sorry if I'm passing the potato back to you.
All good. You're a pleasure to work with and to mentor. So that's what makes it all worth it. So, yeah. Who else?
I can shout out somebody else if you want.
Yeah.
I'll go for it.
Or we can popcorn it to. Let's popcorn it to Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can. I also lost my voice, but I'll go anyway. Yeah, I just want to echo. I just want to say thank you to Brian too. I want to give you the excess of potatoes, embarrassment of riches. But yeah, dude, it's been awesome working on the crowdfunding campaign with you, and really excited to see where this thing goes. This whole team as a whole is just really exciting to be a part of, and yeah, I can't wait to look back on this week like a few months from now, and kind of reflect on how much different the path was, but enjoyable all at the same. But yeah, Brian, I won't make you pick somebody else. Paco, you're awesome. Thanks for keeping the wheels on the bus. But yeah, I was gonna shout out Cody, but yeah, he doesn't have a voice. Cody and Antoine have both been awesome on the content team. Like, we have a lot of really talented creatives that are gonna really create some things that we can share the idea at the core of this thing, which is really just a beautiful thing in of itself. So it's like kind of it's awesome to be on a team I know that can express that in a way that it lands emotionally and will be communicated to the audience that will enable it to be successful from like a functional standpoint. So it's yeah, who hasn't gone? Let's see.
We got Mark, Eugenia, Russ, Kevin.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna call it Mark Dion or Bean as I've known him.
Yeah.
This guy's a great dance instructor, and if especially if you're a white guy and you want to do something super cliche that you've seen in the movies, like this guy will give you one-on-one time and change your love life.
Thanks, Christian. Yeah. Just remember, it's a gimbal, right? It's a gimbal. That's the only joke I have for now. I'll call out Eugenia. Eugenia's been like awesome. She's a perfect mix of like marketing and operations and business development. When we're on calls, she pitches really, really effectively to partners, but she also doesn't take her eye off the ball with deadlines and how actual like operations and stuff work. And she's kept me like like honest with the contract paperwork and stuff that we've been doing. And I haven't had a whole lot of chance to work with a whole lot of you right now as we're trying to get partnerships, but I do look forward to doing that. But I have had the pleasure of working with Eugenia now for the last couple of weeks, and I think we're a pretty good team. So anyway, now you're in the hot seat, Eugenia.
I mean, I straight up told Mark last week on Friday that I just really appreciated him taking on the contract stuff for me. I've never owned that. That language is really scary to me. So I do think our skills really complement each other pretty well since he's able to handle that portion, which I find really intimidating. So I think it's been working really well. And I know Mitch isn't here, but I just really wanted to say that he turned around some concept art really, really quickly for me. And overall, I think he has a really great creative mind, and I'm interested in seeing what else he'll put out into the world in the next couple of weeks. So Mitch, you're not here, but if you hear this someday in the future, thank you.
All right, we've got Eugenia, you have a pick from Russ, Parisa, Kevin, Lobby.
Oh, and thank you to Kevin for looking over all of my copy and helping me wordsmith for those 2 docs that I sent out, influencers and employees. And that's a quick reminder that if you guys haven't looked at the employee launch plan, please go ahead and take a moment to do so. We have less than 40 followers on our social media platforms, but more than 40 team members. So we'd just like to quickly call that up. Thank you, Kevin.
Okay, well, that's a tough act to follow. I appreciate everybody making sure that we're getting editorial eyes on all this stuff. I know that we're cramming a ton of content out into the world, and we're trying to make some really awesome stuff. And it's mercifully helpful to have so many people coming and double checking what they're working on. I have to. I'm not going to give it back to Paco, but I do have to thank Paco for being just the most organized person I've ever met, maybe in my entire life. He's keeping us on track in a way that I know 100% is not my forte, and I appreciate it enormously. I also just want to give a shout out to Lobby, who I know is juggling 17 things at all times, and same thing, by I don't know, someone's good graces, Jeremy's great connections, some combination thereof, we've been blessed to have this team that has so many people who are so organized and coordinated and keeping everybody honest about what needs to get worked on. I fancy myself pretty good as a grinder. I get a lot of work done, but I'm very happy to let people who are better at it than me provide that oversight and direction. So thank you, Paco and Lobby.
Thank you. Very kind of you. I definitely want to echo a number of people who already got shout outs. So I'm not going to just repeat the names. You already know you're amazing, especially the last few days. You've been stepping it up so much more than you already had in the last couple of months. But also I want to say, I know there's a number of people who are not on this call and who've had so much to do with where we have gotten to this point so far. So shout out to everybody. Not taking the easy way out, but literally, like, I joined the team. Your first retreat was in August, and that was the first time I met a few of you. I think there were less than, I'm not even sure how many people, a very small group, and we've come so far. And just want to say shout out to everyone. Amazing job. Keep it up.
Thanks, man. Yeah, thanks, everyone. Just first off, I thank everybody. Everyone's been really nice being new, and everyone's pretty welcoming on the team and everything. So everyone's seems super nice crew to be with. Especially, I'll just do a general thanks to everyone on the Games Pod so far that I've been interacting with. It's nice to be able to throw things up there and not get feedback quick, and everyone's super nice and open everything, feedback and all that jazz. So thanks again. Probably just shoot over to Blaine, maybe. He's giving me some awesome feedback on the pod and everything, so shoot him over his way.
No, that's not fair, Russ. You stole my shout out. I was also gonna shout out Andrew. Honestly, I know a lot of people in here haven't seen the artwork that he's been putting up, but it's absolutely incredible. It's some of the coolest stuff I've ever seen. I don't. I think a lot of the people that I was planning on shouting out have already received a shout out. Honestly, I like Paco, Russ. You guys have also been doing like an incredible job. Eugene and Mark, like the meetings with you guys have also been like super amazing. I don't know. I feel like I'd be repeating other people at this point. Is there anybody I can popcorn to that hasn't gone yet?
We've got Jamie and Romain.
All right, I'll pass it over to Jamie then.
Wow, everyone's gone. Shit.
It doesn't have to be someone that hasn't gone yet. It's okay.
I guess Paco, because I'm up at like 5 in the morning because I'm a morning person, and he's literally the only one on Slack that's awake. So, and I talked to him about like, like the browser, like how we know how the browser's not working right now on Brave, at least, and how it flickers every time you press the profile when you log in. So yeah, shout out to Paco because he's always there to back things up.
All right. Romain, do you want to close us out for this section? Wow, our team's so big now that we're going to have a full hour of thank yous.
Hello everyone. Yes, for me was I was literally I don't even find the word. It's more than impressed last week when the employee launch campaign one pager document was presented. It's super neat, super detailed, super accurate with a lot of best practices. So I wanted to shout out to the BizDev team who has been able to come up with such document in a very short with a very short turnaround. I would not even have been able to think that would exist, and it's a really, really great material. So thanks.
All right. Thank you, everybody. That was, it's always a good sign when we have positive things to say about each other, because there are some meetings where that doesn't happen, but we're not going to let that happen here. All right, so I'm going to reshare my screen now, and the next item on our agenda is talking through our roadmap review, but I will pause on that because what we'll do later on is just go through our go, no-go checklist. That's much more critical right now. And just a friendly reminder, so even though we are pushing for a major milestone this week, and it feels like crunch time and we got to jettison everything and make it happen, it's still important to keep our rhythm. And the main things that I really want to emphasize are that the last thing you want to throw out in a process is a moment to take a step back, analyze your data and measurements and results, and then reflect on that and then pivot. So whatever you do, don't skip your sprint reviews and your sprint retrospectives. Don't skip setting your goals for the week, even if it feels like we got to go 100 miles per hour. So that's just a friendly reminder as it comes to our rhythm. Okay, so now the most critical stuff that we got to talk through is whether or not we are launching tomorrow. And so the first question is, have we checked off all of our launch checklist? So this is probably the most important page everybody should bookmark today and for the rest of this month. So where we stand on the GoFundMe page is actually maybe Brian, if you can kind of help make sure that we're accurate here. So we still have some work to do on updating copy. We've made a bunch of progress. So in case anyone hasn't seen the page recently, this is where we are. We've got some adjustments made above the fold, and we're starting to work on getting some images and graphics on there, but also making sure we're tuning our messages, getting our videos embedded, etc. So there is some work to do to make sure that we are finalizing and getting this polished here. And then one of the key items that we have to determine is whether or not we want some initial seed funding in here to give the appearance that we're already building momentum. So these are kind of the key items we've got left on our target here. So, Brian, you want to give us just a summary of what you're seeing now overall?
Yeah. So definitely a big push to make it visually more appealing and easy to digest. Antoine and I have been reformatting images to work with their platform. The GoFundMe platform is very, it's built for people just to upload pictures from their phone to get them to look good on the site. So it doesn't leave us a lot of room to be able to customize or really work with it. We're kind of like shoved in this narrow path for sprucing it up. So we're learning as we're going, and so that's kind of been the holdup there. And that's why some of you have noticed that some of the images are kind of cut off in places. That's the platform doing some weird stuff. So we're working through that. This week we're going to meet with like Jeremy and Ramah to kind of pound out the roadmap. Kind of like, you've probably seen a lot of campaigns, like kind of like a rough schedule, and like so people can like kind of have an idea of where the train is headed. So we're going to do a good job of like kind of giving people a peek into our plan moving forward, as well as where and how we're going to spend the money that we're crowdfunding for. So just people can kind of be kept in the loop and have an idea of how their contributions are being used. So we're going to do a much better job of communicating those two things. Let's see. And then another big effort we're going to do is Justin Jaw is putting together a plan for like we're calling them stretch goals, but basically beats and milestones along the way of the campaign, some of which are planned before we hit the 3 million, and then we'll probably also plan some after we hit the 3 million, just to kind of show like levels that we can achieve as far as the crowdfunding, and then also what rewards will be given to all people who contribute or who sign up for the beta. So for example, let's say at the $500,000 mark, we're going to promise to give out, maybe some some digital rewards, maybe a companion pet, as well as maybe some Leyline points and so forth. And we're probably going to build in like many different levels throughout the path, the road to 3 million. So we want to kind of keep people engaged and motivated along the way. Yeah.
So Brian, just in terms of, I think gut check, thumbs up and thumbs down. So if we were to say tomorrow, we need a green light on this, what's your take on the GoFundMe page itself as in ready to go tomorrow?
I think we're in a good spot to invite friends and family who know us, who we can have a conversation with, who trust the character and values of the team. I don't think we're ready to invite the general public, just because we just don't have our best foot forward. And if we want to make a really good first impression, big splash, I think a little bit more time would really help towards that.
Okay. All right. So yeah, let's chat afterwards and start to chase down the critical items for that at least, and then we can defer items to the parking lot, which I have down here for future releases. Okay, cool. So the next section is web. So Paco, Christian, the three of us can talk about that a little bit. So we spoke with engineering this morning. We have an outstanding list of bugs that have flowed in from alpha testers and our own dog fooding. So what we have to do is just some basic triage there and understand, hey, when are these going to get fixed? Some of them are going to be fixed when we integrate the Grid Republic account creation flow. Some of these are just static images, or static polish items and quick wins. Others are copy, edits, etc. So we are going to see whether all of those are going to be addressed for tomorrow. Hang on, sorry. Some Discord is going crazy right now. So overall, we do have some showstoppers, particularly when it comes to account creation and whitelist and what are the user flows there. The fact that we don't know what the user flows is a very bad sign. So we need to really put some focus there on web. The other challenge right now, so I'm not sure if everyone's looked at Leyline.gg, but it is a whole lot of coming soon and coming soon and coming soon. That is not a great user experience. At the end of the day, what we want to show people is, hey, we have a vision for an amazing platform, an amazing product, and we should be sharing that mission. Sharing a vision. So instead of a coming soon, it should be like, hey, thanks for checking this thing out. This is going to be an awesome place. Like missions are, we're going to get your items and it's going to be this explosion of joy and surprise. We've got to tease that out. And we've got to tell the story that this page is going to be awesome, that we want you to want this, and that when you see this preview, you're going to be driven to click that button to say, you know what, I want to get on this. I want to create an account. I want to get on this wait list. How do we tell that story? How do we make this appealing? Right now, that is not the case. Like, I don't want to sign up for this thing. Like, it is so uninteresting. What does this even mean, coming soon? We want people to feel this drive to be a part of this thing. So that is the polish that we need to have in place, to me, before we go live. Because at the end of the day, we're asking people to donate to us for a dream, for a vision, for the belief in us that we can make this thing happen. And coming soon doesn't say that. We've got to think about people that are going to see the GoFundMe page, and that same level of polish and emotional impact that we're going for on the GoFundMe page should be oozing out of every page on our website. Even the terms and conditions, like, we can make that way more interesting and appealing. I can't even find it here. But yeah, so for example, is this clear, interesting, understandable? Does the text here reflect our authenticity and humility and our tone? These are all things that users are going to inspect and see. Even like they're going to click every single item on this menu here. I guarantee you, there's always trolls and people that have no lives that like to inspect every word. So that's the level of polish we want to aim for. So anyway, it's an important soapbox item to share. So that's what's going to happen on web. We want to make sure every touch point is looking good. So next area is marketing and PR. Lobby and Daniel, I'm going to let you speak a bit to this. But one thing I will call out is this is our calendar. This is what's going to help us understand what is a launch campaign, what activities will happen that will drive eyeballs there, because right now, technically, we are live, right? The GoFundMe page is out there in the wild. It's just a question of, are we making people aware that it's there? So these activities are going to drive the awareness and drive the clicks. So yeah, Lobby, tell us what your assessment is right now.
We have a number of items from a social perspective that are in production. I'll know better at our 1 o'clock sync. And I'm going to check with the team prior to that too, to see where they are with it. We have a number of things scheduled, but things are being in production. So I just need to understand. I haven't received any updates, so I need to understand where everything is with production. And then regarding PR, that's also, the backend is getting worked out with Uber strategists. I'm working with them on providing them some information, etc. I'll know better this afternoon. With them, it's just can't be pitched anything this quickly. So it's just, we're working towards that. Their recommendation, better to wait till next week as well, to have some ramp up time until they can pitch.
Right. Okay. I'm going to move this to later, knowing that what we could do now is just sign the contract and right. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we're working on with them, providing them a ton of information that they need. Also with Boink, David wrote back saying that he cannot email his news. That's on their CRM. That's not here, right?
Yep.
There you go. He's not able to email, but he can put like a little blurb within the Boink community. I think, Kevin, I sent you a note, or I forwarded you the email if you can just help with.
I responded to it this morning, yeah.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. Not sure what the reach on that is, but it's better than nothing within that community.
Honestly, the benefit there to us, even if it doesn't have a ton of reach, is just it's really good SEO. We can probably get a cross link back to the website and a mention of the brand directly on their website that already has a ton of polls. So it's worth doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
In terms of our social channels, what's needed here to get these checked off? Mainly that we're active or we got things set up.
Like right now, I'm looking at the social editorial calendar. We went through and we notated what we can post every day for the next several days. But the number of things, for example, Antoine's videos are now in production. So I need to check with Haley and Cody to find out if they did the voiceover, if they with Boogie, if they did where things are. Yeah, but where things are in final production, right? Once I get that information, and I'll reach out to everybody right after this.
Okay, yeah,
so we're not waiting till 1 o'clock.
I just want to make sure that the various owners here know what's expected of them, and then when they've got their plan and assets ready, they should check this off. Because otherwise, I think if not feeling good there, then we should also flag that as no-go. Go ahead, Daniel.
I want to understand briefly, when you say when the owners of those channels feel ready, what exactly do you mean? Because the way we're structuring it right now is that we've got our content calendar that encompasses all social media, and we've decided what's going to be posted on each of those social medias every day for the next 2 weeks. Now, the people, the managers who you've tagged, like Mindy and Crystal, they are in a way an extension of the channel. So they post the stuff, and they often lead the actual post creations. But obviously this is happening, this post creation is happening simultaneously as we move into live crowdfunding, because we don't have all the assets prepared 2 weeks in advance. So I'd like to better understand when you say when.
I would say it's really the specifications are up to you guys to decide. At the end of the day, I just want a confidence level that, hey, I'm the Facebook person. I got everything I need to make this successful. That to me is like the check mark here. But really at the ground level, it's really your call, what that means.
Danielle, you and I can talk about it offline. Yeah, I have some ideas on that.
Great.
All right. Okay, so yeah, we got work to do with social stuff. Interviews and media appearances. Eugenia, anything to call out here?
Yeah, so there's a lot of tentative stuff, and I've listed them all kind of on the same day for now because I don't have any better way of schedule, like showing you that things are in motion but not yet booked. So we're working on it. I don't have media appearances because I don't really have any media contacts in terms of influencers. Haley's reaching out to her team. I have a few that I'm going to reach out to. We do still need to book time on Fran's tournament specifically for like a Q&A 10 minutes with you or someone else during those 2 days. We have the PCMR Reddit AMA, which is not technically like a podcast or anything, but I think will be really good exposure. Boink podcast, the guy canceled on me. So we're going to try to reschedule for sometime this week to talk about the podcast, but he says he's interested. And then the NZXT podcast, they haven't gotten us a date for that either, but they also would be okay with extra time. And then I'm going to try to see if there's anyone else that we can kind of steal or things that seem like a really good fit. But yeah, I don't have anything concretely planned for you other than this upcoming Saturday.
Okay, noted. Yeah, so one thing to really call out is, at least in terms of my comfort level, I just want to make sure we've got a pace of public appearances, interviews, because again, these are going to be major points through which we can drive eyeballs and activate new audiences, as well as generate more content that we can reuse on our social channels. So right now we are pretty empty. Like, this is our calendar of events and we don't have too much. Like these 2 events here are actually quite small. The audiences are not big. They're hitting a core audience, but not a large one. So I do consider this fairly critical for us to have actual beats and activities.
I agree, but I will say that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week, we shouldn't do anything on those 3 days anyway, because we will get absolutely no audience regardless. And so I can try to see if we can pressure some people for responses ASAP and maybe do the PCM R1 on Monday, since that is an audience of like 4 million users. The Boink one is obviously that user retention would be really good for us since they're our main partner. Maybe we could do that the following Monday. So I do understand your concern, but I also have only been here for 2.5 weeks, really. And
yeah, don't feel as Eugene, no worries. But yeah, I would say I think a takeaway for us is figuring out to drill down and really kind of push as well our partners if they can get us in front of the faces of some of their key influencers too. But yeah, so I'd say really important for us to knock down today is what do these potential beats and partnerships look like. All right. Labi and Parisa, I don't know if Parisa's on, but can we talk about CRM planning and what our situation is there or status?
Yeah, I just mentioned, sorry, I was jumping ahead when I talked about Boink. So Kevin has sent me the copy. So we are not able to email Boink users, but we are able to just put a little blurb within the community page. So we will be doing that. I'm going to message David with the blurb. I would like that to go live the day of launch, though. The more we can get everyone more splash on that same day, the more of an impact we're going to have.
Okay, got it. There's also a question about how we're leveraging our alpha testers. So we do have a fairly extensive list of future waves. And my take there is if we're going to go public with our public site and our public GoFundMe page, to me, I think our first set of people to get this out to is actually our alpha testers because they are already signed up for this stuff. So my thinking there is not necessarily to whitelist all of them, but to activate them to say, hey, if this is our GoFundMe page, is this something that you would donate to? And have them critique it and have them give us feedback and say, no, this is not something I would donate to, or hey, this is confusing, or these messages don't make sense, or I'm too bored to click through and read more because you couldn't capture my attention. I think that's a good thing for us to test out. So let's also chat about that afterwards too. Lobby,
sure.
Email or talk to those individuals.
Yeah, we can take it offline. Just to be clear, though, you're looking to ask them to critique our GoFundMe page?
Yeah, anything front facing. So, for example, like let's say that we shared it on Twitter or Facebook, etc. Now we're going to get a bunch of strangers hitting that page where we don't get to like really ask them to say, hey, tell us what you think about this. Can you review? Do we have typos? Do we have grammatical errors, etc.? But the alpha testers will be going in with that kind of mindset where they're saying, hey, what's wrong with this thing? What needs to improve? And let me click around the website. Let me hit all the links that you have. And then they're responsible for submitting feedback. Whereas the general public will just say, fuck this, I'm not wasting my time. So that's why I think we need to activate them now, because I don't think we have done that ourselves. I mean, again, like I was clicking through our website over the weekend and I was not ready. Like I did not feel like I was sold on this thing. And then when you click to sections that are not polished, that's where you're just like, okay, these guys aren't ready. So that's why I think now is the moment to really activate those alpha testers, because, you know, we asked them to participate and now is when we need them. So yeah, anyway.
Yeah, we can talk about offline.
Okay, so Eugenia and Mark, I kind of tagged a number of these things here, but Mark, anything you want to add on your end regarding some of our existing partners?
Yeah, and Eugenia could jump in here too as well, but we got with NZXT, we have the agreement over their way. I'm hoping to get that signed this week. I stress to them that, you know, don't get hung up on any terms and conditions. You know, we can work through it. Zydax, as you know, we have a signed agreement there. As we've noted, though, I'm not sure where we are in the co-marketing activities, but we're going to jump on that. Geek Therapeutics is also in flight. Just waiting to get that agreement done. A little tricky with some things, but with regards to the coexistence agreement. But I think Eugenia, you might want to. Do you have some updates on that? Because I know you've been taking lead on those conversations.
I think so, but before we get there, Mark, I would say right now, NZXT and Zydax are our biggest opportunities for the amount of reach that they have on their own channels as well as their influencer network. So I think these two are going to be pretty critical for us to open up opportunities, particularly with Zydax. They've been there from the beginning and they've got their, they've promised to us verbally that we can activate on their, paid influencers. And I really want to dig in and just ask them, hey, what does that even mean? What can you do for us? So we should try to get that conversation moving as quick as possible. So yeah, chat about that as well. Because for example, between Zydax and NZXT, their reach and eyeballs is massive. And the question is, how do we ask them to allow us to reach that audience? And so now that we've got a pretty decent marketing calendar, we can say, hey, these are good moments for us to kind of fill the gaps that we have, and or set up some future beats with them. If it may not happen right away, but at least if we're planning out for 2 weeks ahead, we want to make sure that they're ready for that and we book that time on their calendar.
Got it. Okay.
I left some notes in there for you guys.
Okay. Thanks, Eugenia. So yeah, I'm going to breeze through this for now and then jump to legal. But yeah, Mark, Eugenia, we'll sync up later today to see these remaining items. Brian, want to give us an update on how things are looking here?
Yes. So we're making good progress on the legal front. I believe someone is dropping off our name change from Digital Poets to Leyline today in Sacramento at the state capitol. So hopefully that goes smoothly. Hopefully we get a quick approval. It should be straightforward, but the government, there's always could be some weird thing there. So that's going well. I also reviewed all the documentation to being able to form the B Corp in Canada. I sent a couple small questions over to our legal team. Everything is pretty straightforward, so I don't have any real big concerns. So Jeremy, be prepared to sign all those documents pretty soon, as well as Christian and Ramon. But let's just see what they say on that one small email that I sent them before we finally execute. And besides that, I'm going to continue working with Paco on the TOU. We just need to I think revise the tone, like you've mentioned, Jeremy. But
Kevin, maybe Kevin would be a key person to take a pass at this.
Yes, I think Kevin's the right person.
Yeah, just ping me when it's ready for review. I'm happy to go through it. I just want to make sure that it's as camera ready as possible, so that by the time I'm done editing, we're mostly pushing it live.
So we started with I think we started with Blizzards. So it's basically ready to change the tone. As far as its coverage, it should be good just because it's coming from a very robust company.
Right. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Just drop me an email so I can put it on my list behind the staff bios that I've got to get finished today, and I'll make sure that you have something today or tomorrow.
Cool.
And Kevin, is it okay if you do a similar exercise with the privacy policy, which we currently have now?
Yeah, absolutely. I sent you a note earlier. I just want to get some clarity on kind of what our top priorities are on some of these documents, as far as are we mostly focused on tone? Are we mostly focused on transparency? Are we mostly focused on the UX flow on the site? Because obviously the way that we adjust the copy should be reflective of whichever one of those is kind of our highest priority.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll set up some time for us to do a quick chat, and then let's bring on the crew as well.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, so that is in summary what we've got to do for today. At the moment, we are no go. So there's quite a bit of work to do. And it's very important. I want to really emphasize this, that this is a very important principle that I want to keep from Blizzard, which is we ship it when it's ready. So we're not going to force ourselves to fit a deadline if it's not ready for the, for our users and customers to take a look at. And I'd rather us miss opportunities and potentially incur additional costs, but it will be worth it because that first impression is really, really key. And, like we want to ship a product that we're proud of. So if we see a bunch of missing things, let's fix that first. And, we want, our parents to be proud of us and say, holy shit, that is an amazing product. Even if they're looking at us from heaven, they're going to be proud of it and shower us with angel tears. So, all right. So what we will do is we've got a number of action items here. We all own this checklist. If your name is tagged on this sucker, you got to chase your stuff down and let's get these check marks checked off. And if you have a question and nothing to do that's related to this checklist, come talk to me because we need help and I will reassign tasks over your way. But all right, let's do this. There's a chance we can turn this into a go tomorrow, but we need all hands on deck for this thing. All right. Any other key topics? We got 7 minutes left.
I would just suggest, could we do a daily check-in just for everyone to be on the same page on this? Maybe we can pick the same time next several days, if that works on your calendar.
Yeah, that sounds really good. Potentially, we could tie it into the morning engineering sync. Because we already meet at around 8 o'clock in the morning and we tend to finish pretty early, like maybe halfway through. So we can aim for like an 8:30, 8:45 checkpoint. And it's a good feed in because, they're really core to getting all the bug fixes and planning the releases. So I think that's a good time for us to just, give a green light or red light.
Okay, so you'll be able to forward. You want us to join at like the 8:30 portion of it, or the big 8 a.m. portion?
I'll work with Jamie to book an additional calendar, probably at the 8:30 spot, so we don't need to forward it over to everybody.
Awesome, thank you.
All right. Good.
So me and Bogey were thinking, because like when streamers stream, like for example, like Fran, I honestly, in my opinion, still think t-shirts still work on top of the hats. I don't know what they're gonna do with the stickers. They could like stick it on their computer if they have it in their stream, or like on their car, or actually I don't recommend on the car. I might ruin your car, but like somewhere else. I was wondering if we're gonna go through with, if it's possible to go through with that still. And on top of that, it's like not worth it money-wise for me to keep sending like single by single shares. It's better to buy something in bulk, even like for the future.
Yeah, I think let's talk about that as a promotional strategy relative to budget. And, I think I just need to be convinced on the data there. Because there may be other activities we can do that'll get us more eyeballs, for example, or branding effects. So let's chat about that offline. And again, Lobby, I'd probably lean on you and Sagel in terms of recommended approach there. Because anyway, like I do believe in the value of merch and branding. It's just a question of timing and budget right now.
Yeah, Jamie, we can figure it out. If you guys want to reach out to me offline, let me know what the thought is, and then we can discuss next steps, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm definitely down for testing. So, if we want to do a sample over to Fran for the event, that's certainly a potentially good test. It's just the problem is, how do we measure the success of that? That's the trickier part. So, okay. Thank you, though. I like the idea. I like the fact that we're, thinking about these ways to get attention, get our brand out there. So I appreciate that. Anything else, guys? All right. I believe in all of you. I really do. I am not afraid. I have no fear. I am also insane. But I I know this is logical. My belief in you is logical. All right, guys, let's do this. I appreciate your time. Let's make this happen. And I'll be talking to every single one of you because your names are on this list. Bye.
I'd be more psyched if my kid's asleep. Sorry. Let's go, team. Hell yes.
Ciao.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, talk to you guys later.